This is DCW Savior, Alex Ruler, and you're watching #Truth with Scott Larson. Now bend the knee.
All right, everybody. It is a special edition of #Truth. We are on at 3 p.m. No, don't adjust your watches or your clocks. It is 3 p.m. Eastern time over here on this side of the pond. But over there where DJ B is at, who we're about to interview from top to bottom, telling his whole story, he is 4 hours ahead of us. So it's already 7 o'clock there. So
five. I'm 5 hours ahead.
You're 5 hours ahead. Okay. So it's 8 o'clock there.
Yes.
Wow. So I'm a little off. See, my math is always off. I was never good at math in school anyway. So we're going to start off right away. I'm going to hit this intro, and then we're going to talk all about you. I just like that music, so I'm just going to keep playing it over and over again throughout the show. Kind of a hip little beat. All right, man. Well, I'm going to make a small disclaimer before we get into this interview because, like I said, we're going to go basically from birth all the way up until where he's at now. But DJB is in independent professional wrestling, and we will discuss that. So I've had we do promo leagues together also. I've had a lot of promo league people hit me up and say, hey, I want to be on #Truth. Unfortunately, I don't want to muddy the waters. This is about independent professional wrestling, this show. That don't mean I won't do shows on somebody else's page, but right now Facebook has got that kind of messed up, and me and Dave, we'll talk about that further on into the show. But yeah, I just can't have the waters muddied, guys. I would love to have every one of you on, but it is an independent wrestling podcast. So, but anyway, let's get to DJB. Tell us how you got started in independent professional wrestling. You can go as far back as you want. It's all about you, man.
So originally, independent wrestling wise, I knew I wanted to get involved. I had an auntie who was going out with an independent wrestler, and I seen pictures of him meeting DDP and other superstars. And I thought, I wonder if I could talk to him and maybe get involved. Unfortunately, that never happened.
Oh.
By this point, I was well and truly dug deep into the eFed scene.
Right.
And it wasn't until about a year ago that I got my, indie break when I found a group on Facebook by the name of Colliery Championship Wrestling.
Okay.
And I thought it was another eFed. So I joined it up. I honestly thought it was another eFed. I joined it up, and I realized very quickly, no, this is an actual independent wrestling group, and they're not far from where I live.
Okay. Now, for those of you who are watching in independent professional wrestling and don't know what an eFed is, it's basically a promo league. You promo against each other. You're not real wrestlers, and then they do a results show at the end of the week after you guys promo each other out for a week. Yeah. So there you go. Go ahead.
So I contacted the owner of the company, a wonderful man by the name of James Barris, and I showed him my eFed promos, and I showed him some of the editing work I can do with videos and logos and graphics, and I offered my services for free. And I just wanted to be close to the action, close to the wrestling. I wanted to get as close to the ring as I could, because it's always been a dream. Next thing I know, he's giving me his phone number. I'm ringing him, I'm calling him on the phone, and he says, "Come to the next show, see how you like it, sit as a fan, and then we'll go from there." I went to the show about 2 weeks later, and the first person I met was James's mother. And the first thing she said was, "You will come back straight away. You will want to come back." She wasn't wrong. We got in there, got our tickets, sat down, and it was. I've been at WWE events before, and this was a completely different type of atmosphere. This was more interactive, and it felt friendly. It felt warming and welcoming. And I knew I needed to be part of this family. So after the show, I contacted James again and said, "When I come to the next show, would you mind if I recorded it?" He was like, "Yeah, no problem." And I wasn't comfortable at the time, so I'm sitting on a table with a pint glass upside down, my phone on top of it, turning the pint glass just to get a view of the ring. That's how I recorded my very first CCW show, just completely from one static camera turning on a glass. And
wow.
James saw the footage and he said, "Next time, get up and get closer." It's like, "Well, how close?" He says, "Well, get right in close. I want to see people's facial expressions on the camera." And I don't know, my confidence just went, "Oh, this guy wants me to be involved. Okay, I'm going to make this worthwhile." That was it. The next show, I'm in, arms through the ropes, getting close-ups of people's faces, getting whatever shots I can. And it progressed from there. And 2 or 3 months later, I get pulled into a side office, and I'm thinking, uh-oh. And another guy there who's on the board called Ronnie Thatcher. You know Ronnie.
Yes, very much.
He was the man. He was one of the men who pulled me aside and was the first to tell me, "DJB, you are now officially CCW Media." That was it to me. That was
right.
I was so thrilled. I walked out of that. I say office. It was just a side room. I walked out of there with such the biggest smile on my face. My partner was like, "Huh?" And I told her, and she was like, "Yes." I was so happy. And then
Now
I got to training.
I gotta tell a story about myself that kind of correlates with that one with me too. But we're gonna get to some of these. Robert Brown says Lafayette, Indiana, in the building. What's happening?
Yo,
Ruby Baker said, "Yay,
Ruby."
Robert said, "Sorry, I missed yesterday's live. I was asleep." That's okay, Robert. You're allowed to miss one. You know what I'm saying? What's happening, Ruby? He said hi to Ruby too. Ruby said, "Indie wrestling has been a safe place for nearly 10 years now." Well, I don't want to say I beg to differ. It depends on where you're at. I don't know about England, but here in America, it depends on where you're at.
It's funny, Ruby's in the comments there, because I met Ruby, it's got to be coming close to 8 years ago, through EFED. She lives 10 minutes away from me, and we had never, ever met until I got to CCW, and then a month later, Ruby became the official ring announcer for CCW, and we met for the first time ever. It's crazy.
Isn't that crazy how small of a world it is?
Very
Robert
small.
Brown said, "May I ask where you're from, DJB?"
I am from Newcastle upon Tyne in England.
Give us the nearest large city that we would know. From
The
where
nearest
you're at.
largest city to Newcastle, Birmingham.
Okay. How far are you away from there?
A couple of hours.
Okay. Are you
hours in
near
a
the
car.
ocean, or are you inland?
We're on the coast.
Okay, on the coast. Very good.
The
Awesome.
northeast.
I'm going to tell you right now, Robert Brown is going to ask a million questions, and they're all good.
Fine.
I'm just going to let you know that right ahead of time. He is a great
That's
question
fine.
asker. Who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
Always and forever, The Undertaker. It will never change.
The Undertaker is awesome. Ruby said, dude, I'm glad you're the one recording my shenanigans.
I love recording the shows. It's as close as you can get to the action without actually being in the action. Which, funnily enough, was the next turn that got made because the training began, and because it is close by, but it's not as close as I'd like it to be. So I can't go to training as much as I'd like to. So it's a very slow process. However, somebody there must be thinking, I'm good enough to come out with a wrestler, have a gimmick, and at least participate. Which for the past few months I have been. With a wonderful, wonderful wrestler named Nate Sawyer. If you took one look at him, you wouldn't think he was wonderful, but this guy is a savage machine, and I love watching him work. I love working alongside him.
We're going to see some video soon of exactly what you're talking about. So if you're wondering what he looks like after that introduction, you're going to see here shortly. But man, these things are really. Ruby said, "Dude, I'm glad you're the one." Oh, you already said that. Robert Brown wants to know what kind of music you like.
It's sort of mixed. I like a bit of everything.
And
it's
I know his backup question
rock.
is always, do you like Tupac?
I don't mind Tupac. I like a bit of everything. It's mostly rock and metal, but I do like to listen to a bit of everything.
Okay, I got you. Ruby said PAC is from Newcastle.
Yes, he is. PAC, formerly known as Neville, Adrian Neville.
Nice. Okay, now that you said Adrian Neville, it went ding, ding, ding.
It's funny you mentioned that because right above me is a Pac figurine. Signed.
Look at that. Pac. There you go. The bastard himself. And no, I didn't do that just to do that. That's his actual nickname.
I suppose, yeah, we are closer to Edinburgh. I've completely forgot it, but Scotland is a completely different country.
Jackson Saint, who is a independent wrestler here who does a really scary gimmick, sort of like your guy, says, what are wrestling fans like in England?
I think it depends on the type of fan. You've got the hardcore fans who are in it to see the moves, to see how a move is handled, how a move is countered. And then you've got the fans who are in it for the storylines, the entertainment factor, which is exactly what I'm in it for. I do think the majority of British fans over here are in it for the entertainment factor. They're not really picking apart the wrestling styles that people are doing in the ring. I think they are there to see the things that happen, people getting hit with chairs or, I don't know, mystical, supernatural crap.
That's for us smart marks.
And I think WWE is actually, I think they're starting to realize that the fans over here just love them for the E in the WWE, which is entertainment. And we love it over here. I do wish WWE and even AEW, I wish they'd hold more events over here. Right. Impact, they do. I know Impact hold a lot of events over here.
Yeah, I don't understand that because if you look on the WWE roster, I think there's like 6 or 7 at least wrestlers, women and men, that wrestle from England.
Yeah,
I mean that were discovered there. Robert Brown said, "What about Disturbed? The rock group Disturbed?"
Oh yes, definitely. 100%.
He loves really good entrance music for promos. If you have a really good rock song at the he pops over that, Robert. I'll tell you that right now. I do know that about him. He said, "Yo, Scott, did you find your stalker?" Funny
You've got a
you
stalker.
Say that, Robert. I've got a stalker, and funny you said that, Robert, because he sent me a new video, and we're going to show it tonight before the end of this show. So stick around.
Oh.
I've got an independent professional wrestler who is mad at me because I won't have him on my show. And he told me he's going to kind of I'm going to say it kindly. He's going to find me and beat the crap out of me. So, yeah. Ruby said UK fans are crackers in their own special way.
Oh, we are.
Now, I want to tell you, I mentioned this a little bit ago, but people are flying with the comments, and I love it. You guys keep doing that. Ruby, Jax, Robert, I appreciate all you guys being here. But you tell your story about, showing up at a wrestling show and showing what you're capable of doing, and then all of a sudden they make you part of the family. Well, your story sounds a lot like mine here. I go to a place called HWA, Heritage Wrestling Alliance. That's pretty much my home place, and it was EWF before that. They changed their name, but I showed up and showed them I had a love of wrestling. I had my podcast here that just got started, and I started putting wrestlers on there. The owner started to get to know me, and now I go in and everybody knows me. They mention my name during the wrestlers will look out and point and say my name.
Yeah.
It's amazing when you get like you. I was shell shocked the first few times it happened. I was like, oh my gosh, these wrestlers are saying my name and stuff like that. But it's awesome to be part of a family unit like that. And I also offered basically me and the owner has a contract where I promote them and they let me and my family get in and watch the shows free. So
yeah,
you can't beat that. You know what I'm saying? You can't beat it. And I love them. I love every one of them out there. And everybody knows. I call myself the HWA fan club president. That's who I am. So, but yeah, when you start telling that story, it was like flooding back memories for me too, because I was the same way. I had just started this podcast, and they're a big boost for getting this podcast going. I have to say that. But okay, so you get into CCW and you start getting to know the wrestlers. You start training a little bit. Now, did you automatically have somebody say, "Hey, I've got this wrestler here. Why don't you manage him first? Let's see what you can do," or was it your idea?
So it's okay. It kind of correlates with EFED again. I was in the training group chat talking to James, the owner, and talking to other people about promos that I've done, comedy promos. I told them about a rap promo that I'd done, and I told them about a hillbilly promo that I'd done. And it was basically me wearing, the Minions from Despicable Me?
Of course.
I was wearing a Minion hat that had the word Bob on it. I used to wear it on After Dark all the time. I had a.
I remember that because I watched the first show and you had it on there on YouTube. Yes.
I had a checkered shirt on, but I didn't have it buttoned up. I had dirt on my face. I had longer hair back then, so I had that all fuzzied up. It was like sticking out of the hat and everything. And I just came on talking like a complete redneck and seeing all of these stereotypical redneck incest, fuck your sister, aunties, cousins, brothers, uncles, that sort of thing.
Wow.
And I showed them that, and it was the accent, the American accent, that gave the idea for Damian James, as he's called. And the only other person we could think it would really go well to fit with was Nate Sawyer. And by God, were they right? Because it was like a jigsaw puzzle. It fit perfectly.
Oh yes. And you come out as the manager with a flannel shirt on, gray and black.
So Nate doesn't really talk.
Let me go ahead and show one of the pictures of what you look like coming out. Let me find it. I'm getting so excited. I'm losing track of where I'm at here. I want to show a good one. I'll show what I put out as the promotion. This is the outfit that he wears to the ring.
Yeah,
right there. That's the outfit. I want to save the other pictures for stories. So
Nate doesn't talk. So the reason for me being there is to be the one that talks for him.
And most monsters don't. And
I remember one of the first times I ever grabbed a microphone in the ring. I think you've got a picture of it. I'm looking, and it was then that one, and that's what happened right afterwards. I grabbed the microphone. So that previous picture was Ruby Baker in the corner, and I grabbed the microphone. She was the first person. It was a really weird moment because I've promoted a million times before, and right there and then I was shaking.
Promoted a million times before to an audience of one or maybe two. Here you're promoting in front of a couple hundred people at least.
Well, there was a big crowd there. I mean, that's not even
Yeah.
the biggest crowd I promoted in front of,
Right.
but that match there was the first time I ever grabbed the microphone and spoke on Sawyer's behalf in front of a crowd. And what was the match? It was a body bag match.
Wow.
He put A-Dog and Bat Pigeon into a body bag, I believe, and the body bag actually broke, so we had to wrap them up in it and drag them out. It was very fun. It was very fun.
Jackson Sane, who does an evil character, said he has an evil laugh. He has an evil villain laugh. Ruby Baker said it was unreal how well that worked.
It did. It did.
And she said, yep, that's me in the background with a big smile on your face. She said, you did so well, my man.
I try.
But yeah, so you get together with this guy, and what is the biggest match that you've been in with Baker?
You mean Sawyer?
Sawyer. I'm sorry.
So I think there's been one of them wasn't a match, and one of them was.
Okay.
Me and Sawyer kidnapped a man called Walker of Wall Street.
You're gonna intro right into a video we're gonna play. We're gonna show the video of the second part of this story, but go ahead.
We kidnapped him around Christmas time and tortured him. We tied him to a chair with tinsel, sprayed snow in his face, stabbed him with icicles. You name it, we did it. And we left him there to rot. Unfortunately, he was found, and upon his return to CCW, it was just after Christmas, so he'd missed Christmas with his whole family. He called Sawyer out to the ring, but Sawyer didn't answer at first. I did, which led to the following video.
All right, here we go. And here it is. Let's watch it. I am going to play the sound, so if I get a hit, I'm going to blame DJB.
The music actually belongs to Sawyer, so you shouldn't get hit for this.
Good deal. Here we go.
I don't hear any sound.
You don't hear sound?
No.
Okay, well, then there's more. Okay, let's do it this way. There's more than one way to skin a cat, right?
I don't know if anyone else could hear anything. I couldn't hear a thing there.
Well, let me go ahead and do it this way then. Desktop. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Actual match promo. So I'm going to let it upload into this. You know how this works. It's going to take a few seconds.
I know what you're doing.
So we're gonna load it right into the system, so it'll just play. I wanted to do it and us talk while it was going on, where you could see us too, but apparently Facebook and StreamYard is having a lot of issues right now, ladies and gentlemen. So I apologize for the no sound right there.
Ever since they done that changeover,
it's getting to the point where we're all gonna have to start looking. I love StreamYard, but we might have to start looking for a new way to do our shows.
A new platform.
A new platform, correct.
Funnily enough, you mentioned that because a good friend of ours is looking into that. So hopefully more to come.
If he finds one, you let me know, man. It has to be user friendly because I'm one of those hicks that you were acting like. Oh gosh. Oh man. She said I could hear it a little bit. Yeah. I'm sorry. It is processing. I hope this works, ladies and gentlemen. There it goes. All right, here we go. Here it is. You should hear it now. Let's try it now.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Found stabbed to death.
County Townsend police. Man had died.
Found dead.
We can't do this more.
Did you have a Merry Christmas, Walker? I hear you did. In case none of you know, Walker got his bells all jingled up. He got his face smashed in, icicles dripping down his nose. You didn't make it home in time for Christmas, did you, Walker? Did you? There's a nice little reminder to pick that up. As I think in my head of the sounds of your children wishing, where is Daddy? Why isn't Daddy here for Christmas? Why hasn't Daddy brought me my presents, huh? What did you tell them, Walker? What did you tell them, you pathetic excuse of a father? You're not even fit to be a daddy.
What are you going to do? I'll do like things so.
Sawyer! Sawyer! Sawyer, get out of here! Sawyer! 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 Yeah. How's your guy, Walker? Good sword. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Come through! There's more bits as well! Sawyer! You in there!
Cheesy! Cheesy! Cheesy!
You can't cheese me!
Okay, okay. That was the most funniest thing I've seen in a long time. Chet of the table.
I have that shirt.
Do you?
I do. I have one of those shirts.
That is good. But man, you did actually. Was that your very first promo?
In-ring full-on
In-ring?
promo, yeah.
Oh man, that was great. I mean, I was into it. When he came in, and who was the second guy who jumped in? That you jumped?
His name is Logan Black. He's no longer with CCW. He's moved over to Australia. Very, very good friend of mine.
Oh, wow.
And Logan, if you're watching this, I miss you, buddy.
Right? Yeah, you stopped him cold, man. You look good doing it too, man. I was like, wow, okay. Oh, Ruby said cheesy. Ralph said, you can't cheese me.
Yeah.
That was just hilarious. That
Get on
was
the table, the tribal cheese.
right. Oh my gosh. There was a question. What did I miss? Oh, Alex. Alex wanted to know, what is the most difficult challenge you have faced so far while training?
There's two, really. Cardio, making sure I can last in the ring without gassing myself out.
Come on, man. I'm
And
250 pounds. You're what? A buck 20, 30 soaking wet?
I know I'm about 170, 180 pounds.
Okay, well, okay. I misjudged a little bit because I usually see you sitting. I don't see you, full screen.
I'm a big guy. I'm
Yeah,
tall.
okay. I got you. TJ is on here saying, "What's up? What's up, guys?
What's
Appreciate
up?
everybody showing up, man." Ruby said, "Oh, I wonder who was behind the camera."
I don't remember who was behind the camera at that moment.
And TJ said the Brain and DJB. Yes, the Brain and DJB. Everybody knows me here as the Brain. Most of the people that are showing up here that are in the promo leagues, SME and others know me as the Brain. So
Smee.
yeah, Smee. It's not about you. It's about
It's
Smee.
about Smee.
JD, I said it. You better give me props, buddy. That check better be in the mail, man. I'm just saying. No. So, man, we got to get to this other video because we're already 30 minutes. We're having so much fun. We're already 30 minutes into this thing, but I'm having fun, and we'll be here as long as everybody's having a good time. Alex said, "Guy behind the camera sounded like Scott Larson has a brother overseas." Yes, the one that was talking, the chanter. Yes, that's me at a show.
I'll have to find out who it was.
Yeah, that did sound like me. You ain't lying, Alex. I could use a guy like him in the Appalachian Mafia. Brew Capone, he is but this guy is also a manager. So you two when he becomes a wrestler, yes, Brew, I would say that. But you're gonna have him take your job? I don't think so.
And that's where I am at the minute. That's on the cards. I am currently training. Other than that, I am doing the media still for CCW. As you know, I do the podcasts for everyone.
Right. You do a podcast similar to mine where you get the wrestlers on here and you talk about them, and you have one on there, Ronnie, and it's funny. You was talking about, the first time you saw them, you thought it was them doing promos, a promo league, and I did the same thing. I saw DJB up there, and he was running the show, so I was like, "Oh, he runs all the other ones, so I'll go on here and talk crazy to one of the wrestlers." And he hit me up right away in the chat room. He sent me a direct message. He goes, "Scott, no, this ain't promo. This is real indie wrestling." I was like, "Oh crap." But I did see a video. You was on a show the other night. What was it called?
And the Apocalypse.
Another One Bites the Dust, I think.
Oh yeah, Ronnie's Another One Bites the Dust.
Another One Bites the Dust, and they were showing wrestling at the beginning. The big promo at the beginning. They were showing wrestling. Now, the one thing that I saw, if that was all CCW, correct?
Yeah.
So the one thing that I did notice was, not a lot of, at least I didn't see in those promos, not a lot of high flyers over there. CCW, there's a lot of bruisers there, aren't there?
Yeah. I think the reason behind that, though, is the venue we use doesn't have a high enough roof.
I was going to say that too. The ceiling is right, really 4 feet above the ring ropes. So
we have a few. There's one guy called Persona, and I swear to God, gravity forgot that guy. He soars through the air. He's fantastic.
Ruby said, "Oh yeah, he is. Makes me look like a midget."
Yeah, she's a midget.
Ruby said a dog was dude.
A dog was. Oh right,
A
dog. That's who was behind the camera, recording my part there. A dog is an American independent wrestler from Indianapolis who moved over here over a decade ago now.
Oh, nice.
He's a really cool guy.
TJ said, "I actually started the wave at the Barclays Center for SummerSlam one year. I'm the perfect hype guy." Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's one thing that drives me crazy when I go to any wrestling show. Indie, I don't care what show it is. When anybody sits on their hands and just watches and doesn't do anything, doesn't cheer, doesn't chant, doesn't do anything. I mean, unless you're sick, I can understand if you're sick and you don't want to spread germs all around. But if you're at a wrestling show and you're paying good money, I mean, if you're at WWE, you're paying 100, 200, $1,000 to go see a wrestling show. You better not sit on your hands, man. I'm just saying. And indie shows are the same way. I don't shut up. I am the loudest guy in the building. anybody, Brew, Alex, Jackson Sane, they'll all tell you I'm the loudest man in the building. I will. If it looks like a weak move, I'll tell you that was weak and all that other stuff. I will chant anything. Luke Childers, my good buddy, said hello. He is a guy who does another podcast here. It's called The Bottom Line. You don't want to miss that. If you want to go over there and check out his podcast, he covers North Carolina, South Carolina, and the surrounding areas for indies over here. Great podcaster. He's young and he's learning, and I love it. He's the next generation of us. So Alex says Scott gets right up in their faces. I try, man. I try. There's a few of them.
Hey, you got it, man. You've got to do it.
Right? So I want to ask you about this video since we're already 36 minutes in. I want to ask you about this video, and I've got them all queued. I learned my lesson. While we were watching that wrestling show, I queued all of them in. So you're just not going to be able to see our happy, lovely faces when you see these videos, but that's okay. I can. Whoops! See there, I did it again. I'm trying to erase it. Let's stop screen. There we go. I'm excited, y'all, because this video is crazy. So explain the video that I'm about to show. You know what I'm about to show. You and Phil. How did this video come about? I saw the first 30 seconds of this video, and I screamed like a little girl. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not. And my wife actually thought this was a real legit Hollywood rapper. So tell us the story, man.
So me and Phil are over in the SWA, which is an EFED, and there's a competitor there by the name of Marvs. You'll know Marvs.
Yes.
So Marvs came on one day. The
guy that jets in and jets out in his videos?
Yeah.
That guy. Yeah, okay.
So I started off taking the piss out of Marvs. For those that don't understand what taking the piss means, it means I made fun out of him.
Right.
So when he'd done green screen on his videos, he looked like I compared him to Zordon from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers because he was flickering so fucking badly. Yep, that's it, Ralph. And because I was doing that, he told somebody in Messenger that he was going to record a diss track against me. This person likes me a whole lot better than they like Marvs, or at least they did at the time. So they told me about this diss track, and, well, as the saying goes, I have a Phil. So,
yes, you do.
Me and Phil collaborate together. We get some lyrics going. We get a beat. I get my green screen up and come up with some ideas of what I can do during this video, and we made something magical, and it is titled Meek Marvin.
Yes. Now I will tell you this again because I know some people are watching. There is adult language in this. This is a promo for a promo league for adults and things like that. So I'm just warning you ahead of time, but it is funny and I love this. Robert said I'm back. Did I miss anything? No, Robert, you're back just in time to watch a great promo right here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play this. Let me get over here. This is the rap battle versus Mars. This is DJ B's side of the battle. So here we go.
Oh no, Marvin, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do. I really don't. What you did was amazing. I mean, I can't rap.
you needed a reply. So I decided to explain to you why my excellence is relevant, appearance here benevolent, your burial expectant, and you lose goodbye. And what's the outcome of your wasting opportunity? I leave you battered and broken with impunity. You'll remember forever with cold sweats and night terrors. Say goodbye to all the golden hello future endeavors. But I'm guessing comprehending isn't something you do, so allow me to explain it. For a cup like you, I take golds and wins, I expose glass chains. You're only capable of bad promos that end pew pew. And you know what's really gonna piss you off? I don't need auto-tune, cunt. Say hello to my little friend.
Well. Hello, baby boy, don't worry, daddy's just arrived. I know you think you can freestyle, but even that just seems contrived. Just fucking die, don't even try, you're just a joke of a rapper. In prison, Mayhem Jones will bend you over and make a green cracker. This Mississippi sissy has a difficulty, that extra chromosome affecting some mental faculties. He just can't talk on green screen, undeveloped family genes. That's why his mumbling, stumbling ass in the ring is so green. You've tried to harass and embarrass while showing no class or talent. If I was stuck as your parent, I'd send you back to the classes. Actually, just go home, or down to the trash back then. I'm sure that Ronnie James will sign you, I hear he likes good head.
That was not real cocaine, it was flour.
Yeah, well, I imagine that, but man, oh man.
Phil is a godsend,
Yeah,
man.
well, if anybody ever says, "Hey, do a rap battle against DJ B," no, you have a Phil.
It was so good, Phil.
Phil is an expert at video, as you can see. Phil,
He is.
Phil just, oh my gosh. And I'm strange enough to challenge. I've challenged him like 6 times. It's gonna happen, and he's gonna hand me my butt. But I am
That's the
looking
thing.
forward.
I mean, he is one of the hardest people to challenge in EFED because not only can he edit on the production side of things, he can talk. He knows how to speak. He's always an all-rounder. I've faced him 3 times. I've beaten him twice. He's beaten me once. And I've no doubt that before I retire in EFED, it's going to happen again.
Before Chris Brown dissed track Quavo, DJ B dissed tracked Marv's. Yes, that is true.
Boobs!
Yeah. There he said, hey. Ralph said, and they're stopping the fight. They're stopping the fight. The fight has been stopped. Speaking of the devil, what's up, my beautiful peoples?
Shady!
Hey, Shady, I did say it's all about Shmee.
Yeah.
The check better be in the mail, man. Just saying. But so what? So after that, what happened? What did he? I'd love to know what he said to you after that happened.
So he gave us praise for the rap, but I do think he was a bit sour about it because every time we bring it up nowadays, he's always like, "Oh my god!" It's funny to bring it up. It really is. I've never had problems with Marv's ever since.
Right. Marv's is a great guy. I love watching Marv. He is a great guy.
He is, and he's one of the guys that I like making fun of him, but he knows that I mean it out of love. So every time we showcase one of his promos, the last thing I'll say before we show it is, "Please don't teleport." It's because Marv is known for teleporting onto his screen before he cuts a promo. And we do showcase
now,
one
it would
after
be
dark.
cool if he was in a spaceship uniform one time and he does that. Then it would make sense.
Yeah. Or something like a portal opens up.
Yeah, a portal opens up in the back. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Robert wants to know, did you play the stock of it? Okay, you've done talked me into it. I'm going to go ahead and play this so everybody can see this. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a guy who is trying to stalk me. He's mad because I won't let him on the show. And he sent me another message a little while ago. It's only a minute long, so bear with me. Yeah, I don't know his name, but here we go.
Scott Larson, you keep acting like I'm not a threat towards you. you keep going on with your interviews. But that's fine. Because I will find you and I will beat you to a pulp. Because you are a fake and a liar of your old wrestling. You love your new stuff. And as much as you like to decline it, you can't. So I'd watch out. Because I seriously hurt you when I find you and break every bone in your body.
Eye contact, 0 stars.
That that was quite mellow to the first one he sent me.
What the, I'm good. What the fuck was that?
I told you I have a stalker. Oh, I didn't tell you. Robert did. Oh, Ralph said, DJB, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been? Let's go with the wrestling side first. How long has it been since you walked into the doors of CCW?
About a year.
About a year. Oh, wow. I mean, that's a lot of trust if they're already having you videotape, editing stuff, doing other things. I mean, that's much love, man. I'm much respect from me.
I work hard.
Right? Yeah, dude, I understand, man. I understand. I try to do video. I'm not that good at the editing part. I'm learning, but that's it.
As for the EFED stuff,
that's not TMX. No, that's not TMX. If that was TMX, you would see pictures in the background of wrestlers and a big rack over his head, and it would be clear as day. Yeah. TMX doesn't do a promo, and I'm not cutting the dude down. I love him to death, but he doesn't do promos anywhere but that spot. At least yet. I'll say that. Oh my goodness. So what else do we got in store here? The rap battle.
So there was the World Cup.
The World Cup. Let's get into the World Cup. Tell us about the World Cup.
There was a group before SME done the SME tournament for the SME Championship. There was EWN. And every year, the EWM would hold the World Cup, where every EFED on Facebook would be able to put a team together, and they would then be randomly selected. And this was all run by our good friend Grant Miller.
Your Phil has arrived, Phil. But he said when he gets home he'll watch it. So
not a problem. So we entered the World Cup, and I entered with a company called NEW, New Era Wrestling. And that was run by a man called Rob Roman.
Okay.
So there was 4 of us on the team, and well, I think it was round 3. Yeah, I made it through the first 2 rounds quite easily, and then round 3, my opponent was Drew, and it turned out to be Phil.
Oh
so
no!
By this point, though, me and Phil had been doing After Dark for well over a year, I think. And I tell everyone this. I'll tell everyone, and I'll tell the world. I love Phil like a brother. He is my brother.
Right.
He helped me when I was at an all-time low. I will never, ever be able to repay the debt that man has done for me, and I don't think he realizes how much he has done for me, but he has. So I knew going into this it would get emotional, because I knew the style of promo I wanted to do. I wanted to mix reality with wrestling and EFED.
Right. And so you did have the Phil to help you because you were promoing against him. That was another thing against you.
Yeah.
So.
The only thing I did have was things that had happened in real life to help me get through the promo and use that as inspiration. And the main thing was I needed to find a correlation between my real life brother, who not long before that had died of cancer, brain cancer, and then Phil, who I now considered not a replacement, but the the big brother that I lost.
He helped fill in that gap. He wasn't
Yes.
that guy, but he helped fill in the gap.
So I knew it was going to be an emotional promo, and
Right.
it was one of the longer promos that I've done as well, 7.5 minutes, I believe.
Wow.
And it wasn't the best edited. It gets choppy at parts, but the core emotion behind the promo is real. And there's one
Right.
part during it, and I'll just say I mentioned my real brother, and you see an orb. A couple of seconds later, you see an orb fly up across the screen, and I know it's probably dust, but when I watched it back, the first thing I said was, I mentioned my brother, and then
Did you see wings? Did you
Yeah,
see
and
wings?
I don't know what the fuck it was. You'll see it on the promo.
Okay.
But this promo, I did win the match. I got through to the next round, but I, to this day, consider this.
I will see it. If it doesn't have wings, if you can't tell there's wings, that's not a bug. I watch enough Ghost Adventures to know if you don't see wings, it's not a bug.
To this
So-
day, I consider this, if not one of my greatest promos I have ever or will ever do.
I'm gonna let this question go because it's
Oh yeah, 100%. I've taken many.
There you go. And Robert wanted you to know that my biggest claim to fame interview was I interviewed Will Hobbs 1 week before he got his contract at AEW.
Nice.
While he was still in the Indies, yes. Now I was shocked, man. I was like, yeah, I just, interviewed this great dude from California. I'm used to doing North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, maybe Tennessee. And this guy from California hits me up and goes, hey, actually a friend of mine told me to go ask him to do the interview. I didn't know who he was. And he came on and we had a great interview. And a week later, I'm looking up at AEW and it's like, yeah, Will Powerhouse Hobbs. And I'm like, what? Okay. And there's another young lady who's at TNA who won the TNA TV championship. I interviewed her also.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Brilliant.
Miss Starks. I can't remember her first name. Billy Starks, I believe it is. Billy Starks. So yeah, I've had a couple of 500. I got to hit with something, right? 500 interviews, almost.
Yeah.
I got to hit with something. So there you go. But yeah, let's go ahead and show this promo because I would love to see this. And again, if you don't hear it or anything, please let me know in the chat. I uploaded them so we could do it the right way. I thought we could do it and watch it, but unfortunately it didn't work out that way. So here we go.
So this is it. Caesars Superdome, eh? The place. At the end of it all here, I go on. DJB, Phil Marshall here tonight. Best get inside.
Good evening, everybody. And as you can see, as you can hear, I am backstage here inside Caesars Superdome here in New Orleans. And right over there, behind the curtain, is over 70,000 men, women and children roaring with excitement and anticipation as to what's about to happen. Because what's about to happen, folks, is absolutely nothing less than history being made. Because just in a few minutes' time, my music will hit, and those people out there will start to chant my name as I make my way down to that ring and face off against a man who, over the last several months, I have come to see as an older brother. And you can hear my voice breaking because now I actually had an older brother once. His name was David. He died. Brain cancer, stage 4 terminal, took him at 36 years young, away from his wife, away from his kids, away from me. The point is though, when David died, I lost a part of me I thought gone for the rest of my life. An older brother a role model gone. And then you, Phil. You came along. Bulletproof Phil Marshall. And folks, when this man calls himself bulletproof, let me tell you, death knocked on his door, and this guy opened it up, gave him the middle finger, and slammed it right back in his face, which is why I hate what I have to do next. Because when my music does eventually play very soon, and I do walk out there, I am leaving every bond, every emotional tie I have right here, and I'm walking out there, stepping into that ring with only one goal in mind, and that is to move forward in this World Cup and bring pride to my team as the sole surviving member of Team NEW. So Phil, if that means I have to bust you open, if that means I have to break your bones and put you back in a coma in some piss poor NHS funded hospital bed, wishing you were still just losing your liver and not this match, then so be it. It's not something I ever expected to have to do, but hey, life works in funny ways. You of all people know that all too well. We're both men who at one point in our lives felt like we were done, that this was the end of the road. And what did we do? Both of us proved everybody wrong. You can take solace in that fact, Phil. You can take solace in knowing that you came back from the brink of death. You brought life back to your career, came to this World Cup and showed the whole world that you are and always have been an elite. But Phil, your road, just like the Undertaker's streak in this very building, comes to a stop here with me. Because only one of us can go forward to that winner's round and fight for the overall honour of World Cup winner, and it has to be me. It just has to be me, man. I hope you understand, I really do. When I'm caving your face in with these fists, when I smash your back with an almighty DJ bomb, when my knee is pressing your skull down and your body is bent backwards, as I apply the kneel to excellence on your face, I hope you understand. As I understand, you have to do the same to me. I know you will bring absolutely everything you have in this match, holding nothing back, and I'd expect nothing less from you. Nothing less from Bulletproof Phil fucking Marshall, the man I respect, the man I look up to, and the man that I now have to beat. We always joked about this scenario. What would happen if we had to fight each other? And we always joked about making this an entertaining spectacle. Sorry for everybody else, I'm getting caught here, but the guys who watch us every week on After Dark, they're going to be watching us thinking, hey, we're going to put on a good show, but you know what, Phil, I can't do that! I can't think of one fucking scenario where any of this is entertaining to me, because I buried one brother this year already, and I will be damned if I want to bury another. Yet somehow my body keeps pushing me toward that curtain there, my whole body cursing with adrenaline right now, shaking, and all of it soon to be aimed right at you. Do you hear that? It's time. And Phil, before I go, I just want you to know, when this is over, when you lose this match, I hope I haven't just lost another brother. Now let's do this.
Oh wow, that was wow. I mean, I know you had the energy of your brother with you, and you know Phil is a really good friend, but that was powerful, bro. That was powerful. I almost wanted to cry, dude. I was almost in tears, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, wow. At the end, like the last at least 45 seconds, when you were talking about, I'll be damned if I bury another brother. Man, I could feel the tears. I was like, oh man, I gotta look away. I had to look away. It's like,
it was an emotional one.
How did you get? How did you? Man, I'm sorry. I would have broke down in tears, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I think I did afterwards. I'm pretty sure I had a bit of a cry afterwards.
Man, that was Robert Brown says, is the Will Hobbs interview on this channel? It is on my other Facebook channel that I had until my page got taken down. My first page got taken down, and I lost contact with that page. It's on Facebook, unfortunately, Robert Brown, and I know you don't have social media, just YouTube. So, yeah, unfortunately, but maybe I'll put it up. Maybe I'll put it up on my YouTube page so you can watch it, man. I will definitely. I'm proud of that. So I will definitely put it up there for you to see. I didn't start doing YouTube until after that page went down. So 200 and something videos are still on that hashtag truth page itself, or pretty close to that.
Nice.
So, yeah, if you'd see the show compared to what it is now to what it was back then, you would laugh. I sit back and laugh every time I go back. It was bad. I was just learning, and the stuff around this, it was not as good. Yeah, but you got to start somewhere, man. It was great. Yeah. It was fun, man. But man, I've enjoyed this time with you, man. I mean, I got to know you a lot better. It's a lot of fun, man. We do promos every week against each other and stuff like that, and you do your show, and I watch you run your show, and I'm actually a lot of respect, man. You keep things together at SME for Outbreak and stuff like that. One of the shows, and the Brain is in. For the last couple of months has been a mainstay there, so I'm proud of that.
You're one of our top guys now.
Win some, lose some. I've lost some though, but you know, got my butt handed to me by a binary witch. But you know, that was expected. But I had a lot of fun, man. I hope you had a lot of fun on my show.
I did.
And telling your story, man, because I know we got a lot of people who haven't seen it, or he said, "Uh-oh, wait a minute." Ruby said, "Funny story. DJB introduced me to the ring once."
I did.
Okay.
So at the start of a show, before Ruby came out to announce the start of the show, I announced Ruby coming out, and we had a whole script about her leave. She's got 14 children or something, and she left 2 at home or some stuff. It was a really funny long script. I'll have to send you it sometime if I can find it.
Now, if I could find a video, I'm going to show you something that will make you laugh hysterically. At the time, I wasn't laughing, but I also, for a short while, was managing a person in independent professional wrestling. And a lot of people don't know this either. My friends, my good close friends do, but I love this kid. He still wrestles today. Every once in a while, I like to go out there and watch him. But I was his manager for this big storyline he had with these two rivaling factions, and I was the manager of one of the factions. And I got in. I actually was managing the guy who turned his back on my guy.
Huh.
So in the match, I get up on the apron. the guy that, you know, I'm managing turns around and I whisper something in his ear. He turns around and I hit him in the back of the head, knock him down. The guy that I loved managing walks over. It was a work. So I walk in the ring. I grab the mic. I do this great promo leaning over him, like, you know, the name of our faction was the Uprise. So I look down and I'm like, you should have known this is my guy. You should have known I would have never turned my back on my guy. And you just got punked by the Uprise. I turned to go out of the ring. And instead of stepping through the middle rope like guys do, I tried to step under the middle rope like the bottom rope, fell down onto the stairs and broke my toe.
Oh.
And the announcer that was announcing the match, who knew me very well, he was like, "Oh my goodness, man down. Scott Larson is down."
I will say there's one thing I did forget to mention.
What's that?
That happened in CCW, and it's one of my memories I'll never forget.
Okay.
Is Sawyer had a match with Walker of Wall Street for a championship, which was at the time called.
Yes, we have a video with that. We're going to show that before we go to. Go ahead and tell the story, and we'll show the video right after.
It was for the British Carnage Championship, and this was the first time I ever actively got involved, like, during a match. So the bell hadn't finished for the match yet. The match was still going, and I got involved in the match. And I'm so proud to have been able to not only been there in the ring with Nate, but to take the belt and be the one to hand him the belt.
Right.
It was a surreal moment. And
isn't that magical? Isn't that,
yeah.
You got the crowd roaring because there's a new champion. Well, your guy is a bad guy, so he was probably booing, roaring, but it's still, any reaction in professional wrestling is a good reaction.
Yes.
So, but Robert said, "Can I give you guys some homework?" I haven't had homework in a lot of years, Robert, but if it's not math, I might do it.
Possibly.
Oh my goodness, here we go. The hardcore, I said hardcore, listen to me.
What's
the
up?
Deathmatch Juggalo, Brian Cummings, man. He said, "What's up, Scott Larson? What's up, DJB?" This man does hard death matches, and he's a good friend of mine. He's awesome. I have to send you some of his matches, man. You'd love
Please
watching those. Robert said, "When you guys get the chance, check out the movie Hot Boys. It's a gangster movie." Okay, I'll check it out. I love gangster movies. Hot Boys? Okay. You're not going to send me to some porn site, are you, Robert?
That's I feel like it's a trap.
Yeah, that's the Hot Boys. That sounds kind of weird for a gangster movie, but okay, I will check it out. The first moment I hear chicky bah, it's getting turned off, man. It's getting turned off. I'm just saying. But here we go. Let's go ahead and show Sawyer actually winning the championship and DJB getting to hand him the belt. Here we go.
Oh no, Walker! You failed again, Walker! Walker, no! I'm sorry! It wasn't me! It was Sawyer! You want me to forgive you? You want me to forgive you? Sorry, I'm sorry, it wasn't me, it was Sawyer! It was Sawyer!
That had to be a great moment, but I have to say again, I almost fell out of my wheelchair here when you said, "Oh, look, you hit the referee." Gosh, that is great. That is great. That couldn't have been done any better, man. That had me going. Brian said, "Whoop whoop, let's do business." Proudly sponsored by UK Creations.
I'm a UK creation.
And not scared to shed a little blood, he said. Robert said the movie's got Snoop Dogg in it. So, okay, I'll watch it, then. I'll definitely watch it.
It'd still be a trick.
Right? I'm telling you, something ain't right about that. But I love Robert, so he's probably telling us the truth. One quick question. Do you have a bucket list of people you'd love to work in some capacity in the business? Let's do the indie business where you're at. Who would you want to be your very first match when you actually legit become when you start on the wrestling side?
Singles or tag?
Either one. Either one.
If it was a singles match, I would want it to be someone who I've had some sort of rapport with online and argued with online before. So we've got something to work with. So probably there's a guy called Rico Justice, either him or a guy called Persona, because during the last show, Persona actually slapped me in the face. That was fun.
Okay. Yeah, that'll get the juices flowing. That's the way to start a rivalry.
As a tag team, I would. The dream is that I want a tag team of Nate. That would be absolutely fantastic to take on probably the paragons of the apocalypse. So that's Dagon and Adrian Black. Just because I think they're phenomenal wrestlers, and I want to see.
I saw a video of those when you were playing some of the video. I saw, and they were also on one of the shows, I believe. I saw both of them, and
yeah.
Oh, now I have to ask you because I'm horrible with names. There's one of the guys that that comes on your show. He's a wrestler, and his voice is. I'm sorry, this is the best way I can describe. It's weird. It's not English, it's raspy. Do you know what I'm talking about? I couldn't explain. I'll have to go back and look at the video and give you the name, but he doesn't sound. He kind of talks like this. His voice is kind of like that. It's
is he American?
Yeah, it probably is.
If he's American, the only American roster member is A-Dog.
It might be him. It might be him. He looks sort of like Sheamus in a way. That's the best way I can describe it. I mean, he doesn't have the orange hair or nothing, but in the face, he kind of resembles him. I'll have to go look at the name, man.
I think I know who you mean. I think it might be A-Dog.
I think it is too. Brian wants to know, what are your dislikes of American wrestling versus over the pond wrestling?
Over here, deathmatch wrestling is frowned upon in family shows, whereas there's a lot of American shows where I see kids running around and there are death matches, people using barbed wire, and the kids are absolutely loving it. And right. I do know it depends on location, depends on what the people in the town or wherever you are around you are familiar with. But right. I feel if they like it, if the crowd like it, then nobody outside of that circle or that promotion should really be complaining. We get a lot of people, if they see a death match over here, and there's even so much as someone who's in the crowd who even looks young. Oh, shut the fuck up.
Now, I will say one thing from the videos that I've saw from CCW, like I said before, there's a lot of big guys. There's a lot of big, I call them bruiserweights. I know that term gets used a lot, but especially with an English guy in WWE who's very popular and goes by the nickname bruiserweight. But that's the best way I could describe it. They're big guys who, not a lot of high flying. They punch, their power, and I love that. I love that style of wrestling when you have two big guys in there just going at it. And it's kind of funny. But I have to say, how many times is that guy going to get a hold of you in the corner and stomp you down before you fight back? I just want to know that. because that was 2 videos I saw. Him pretty much stomping you down in the corner. Well, he missed you and got the referee the second time. That's right. But still, if the referee wasn't there, he probably would have went after you.
That's what's.
I got you. Brian said Lou Nixon and Big Effin' Joe would be a great addition to your show. Just saying, brother. Okay. Ruby said that'll be Dagon. Oh Lord, not a dog. Harry Bernard Taylor.
You could have been on about. You could have been on about Dagon.
I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look at the video and see. But he has a different. You know what I'm saying? Harry Bernard Taylor of the Straight Up Wrestling Show. You guys go check him out. Him and a good buddy of mine, Christopher Burton, does a great show over there. He said, "What's up, Scott?" And question to DJB: how old were you when you started, and how long you been in the business? He's going to go back to the beginning, but go ahead. Thanks for showing up, Harry.
Independent wrestling. I've been involved only for about a year or so. Actual promoing and being creative as far as wrestling goes, about 18 years.
Yeah, that and it shows. Go back and watch him do some promos, Harry. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love the rap. Go back and watch the rap video.
That's
you
the
don't want to miss
farthest I've traveled.
Where's the farthest you've traveled to wrestle or do something?
Not far. A couple hours down the road.
Okay. Well, still a couple hours is a couple hours.
It's still relatively fresh. I mean, there have been opportunities elsewhere. It's just managing time and finances to get there.
Ruby,
yes, Ruby.
Big man slapping meat. Okay, I got you. Brian said Vinny Aaron Haw we should look into these guys for sure. Love our UK brothers. Yeah, man. Like they said, they don't do the death matches, but definitely I'd love to see some American guys come over.
So it's funny, CCW actually has 3 brands. I don't know if you know this.
No.
They're all called CCW, but we have Colliery Championship Wrestling,
okay,
Coming Out Championship Wrestling, which is more towards the LGBT community.
Okay.
And we have Carnage Championship Wrestling.
And that's where all the good stuff
is. We do feature death matches on there.
Okay, so there you go, Brian. Get hooked up over there and get into some death matches across the pond. Robert Brown said, Harry, what's happening, man? I love Harry. You guys got to go watch we call him HBT. You got to go over there and watch his podcast. He covers AEW, WWE, and does indies. So I'm not smart enough to do all that. I just cover the independent scene. I let Harry and all them younger guys cover AEW, WWE, NXT, TNA. He does them all, man. Great show over there. Go check him out. Brian said, hint, hint, would love to make an international debut.
If you're ever over here, hit me up.
I might have to give you some information to get the CCW. Brian, I'll give you the hookup, man, after we get off of here. Or
that's another thing as well. A couple of weeks ago, I made my first ever booking for CCW, and that's just because of friends who I know. And you know Morton Miller.
Right.
He will be debuting this Saturday at CCW.
Nice. Very nice. I love to hear stories like that. I love that. I love when I've had a few stories on #Truth where they actually ran their storyline through #Truth and got booked. I've had a few matches at a couple of companies that happened like that, and it's awesome, man. Harry said no problem. Go ahead.
It was just completely out of the blue. I pitched the idea because Grant obviously used to be a wrestler and he hadn't wrestled for a while, but he was getting back into training. And I thought, Grant, if I message my boss, want to see if we can set something up? And I got the go ahead, and I was like, okay, Grant, we're doing it. Get him ready.
There you go. See, that's what I'm talking about. Harry Bernard Taylor said, no problem, Scott. Glad I caught you, and thanks, DJB, for answering, even though I figured Scott already asked. That's always like my first question out of my mouth. If it's not, I'm sick or almost dead. Danny Darko, speaking of wrestler in the America, also a promo artist, Danny Darko. Robert Brown said, when's the last time y'all did homework? I'm going to watch the movie.
2.5 weeks ago.
2.5 weeks ago. It's been about 40 years for me, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. No, maybe a little bit. No, not quite that long. 35, I'd say.
I do want to shout out as well because I would
Go
kick
ahead,
myself.
man. Go ahead.
I'd kick myself if I didn't. Tune into the After Dark Network. Every Saturday and every other Thursday, you will catch the likes of me, Phil Marshall, Scott West, Shady Sean McKenzie, sometimes Grant Miller. We haven't seen Dylan in forever. Sometimes Dante Black even shows up. And on a Saturday on EFED After Dark, what we do is we showcase promos, wrestling promos from the EFED world, and we critique them in a comedic way, and we have a laugh together. And every other Thursday, we host a show called Dank After Dark, which is it's similar to your other show, Scott, where it can be about everything and anything. Sometimes, most of the time, actually, it's very rude and very adult themed. So
I was about to say that. Both shows that he's describing, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, you better have a thick skin. You better know how to laugh at something, even if it's serious, because I'm going to tell you, there's some things on there that would make some people go, dang, you guys are awful. But it is funny. I'm sorry. It's funny.
It's that satire we've had to, we've got our own website now. So in case YouTube and Facebook take us off the air, we're still live on our own private website, which is afterdark.zone/live.
I'm definitely going to have to start going on there instead of the other ones because I know eventually when that catches up to you, what you guys do on the show, and I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying if there's a line to cross, let me tell you, Phil Marshall and DJB will cross it. I'm just saying.
I mean, dude, what started as a podcast where me and do you know the Iron Bison?
I'll let you read that.
Don't lie, you roast the fuck out of it. Yeah, okay, we do. But we do help people though. Ask Dante. So
yes,
do you know the Iron Bison?
I love Iron Bison. I tried. That was another guy that everywhere I went and he was there, I always challenged him and never got a match against him.
So EFED After Dark began with me and Iron Bison originally looking at promos and really professionally sitting down and critiquing them and giving feedback.
Right.
4 episodes in, Bison couldn't do the schedule anymore, and I needed a replacement partner. Enter Phil Marshall. And we've been going ever since then, almost 2 years now, to the point where we have our own merch store set up. We make money off of this. It's fantastic.
They do rankings for the promos, and they play a funny video for the ranking. What rank they give them like 3 stars, 5 stars, the star rankings. And guys, you will laugh so hard. If you, like I said, you got to have a thick skin and a big sense of humor. If not, it's going to fall flat on you. You're going to be like, man, these guys are rude. But I sit back and laugh so hard. The first time I watched that show, I was like, wow, if there's a line, again, I know I'm repeating myself, but if there's a line that can be crossed, you guys will find it. I mean,
if you are interested in seeing what the merch is, you can go to afterdark.zone/store.
There you go. Without
There's
a doubt.
quite a bit of merch.
Without a doubt. And I'm going to tell you, that is, I've told DJB and Phil this many a times. My biggest fear is to have one of my promos be on After Dark. That's my biggest fear. So every time I go into doing a promo for these guys, I am very careful I don't mess up majorly because I won't send it in. I'll be like, oh, guys, I got sick. I can't promo this week or something. I'd rather have you mad and go, well, he didn't turn one in than, I'd rather get a little short Phil Marshall telling me to go, do something to myself than be on After Dark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
But man, we have been on here for an hour and a half, and I've got company coming over in a little while. Yeah. So we're going to have to cut this short. But man, I'm telling you, we're going to have to do this again soon. Have some fun. We'll get together and we'll just make it. And since everybody was hitting me up before the show, we'll just come on here and we'll ask all the EFEDers to come in and we'll do a little hashtag truth after dark and play some promos and have a good time, man. It sounds like a winner. We'll ask Phil to come on. We'll ask, Shady and all them guys to come over here and we'll just have a good time of it, man. I hope you guys all enjoyed this show. I had a blast.
I had fun.
Tell everybody before we go again, do a rundown of where they can find you and the shows on social media, and then we're going to get out of here.
So you can catch me on the independent wrestling side. You can catch me on the CCW Facebook group or on the CCW Colliery Championship Wrestling UK YouTube channel. Or you can find me on Facebook, eFedways, through the After Dark Network, SME, which is Social Media Entertainment. It's not about you, it's about SME. FWA, GWF, VPW, these are all eFeds. You can catch me in any of those groups. Other than that, I don't want to hear from you. Fuck off. I'm only joking.
Now, if you guys are out there and you're wrestling fans and you want to become a character and you want to learn how to do these promo leagues, hit one of us up and we'll tell you all. We'll get you into SME. One of these guys will hook you up and teach you how to do it without a doubt. That's where I started. I just went on a wrestling show and sent in a video, and I've been the brain ever since. So. Some people like me, some people can't stand me, so it's all good. But, man, I'm going to end it like this, man. DJB, let me tell you, he says underneath his name, he's the innovator of excellence. Well, I say he's the jack of all trades and the master of none. He knows a lot of things, and trust me, I'm getting on his coattail. I try to get on every one of his shows. I try to make an appearance, just get a little rub, you know what I mean? Wrestling term there. If you know, you know. But guys, go check out DJB at all the places he just mentioned. Go buy the merch. Check out After Dark, and that is the hashtag truth. We'll see you guys tomorrow night at 7 p.m. with our last show of the week. Don't miss it.